argument was, what should people put on their cassette tape compilation inlay card?
It's illegal.
They're not allowed to do.
It's illegal.
I agree they're not allowed to do that.
Right.
But I was offered, you'd asked me to tell them what they should put down, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the track we played was recorded by R.E.M.
Yes,
right?
it was.
Not Clique. So
No,
don't
that's
write
right.
Clique down.
No, write R.E.M. down.
Exactly.
How are you spelling that?
That's correct.
How are you spelling that?
That's capital R, capital E, capital M.
Right.
Right? And you want to put down the name of the track as recorded by R.E.M.
Yeah.
They've called it Superwoman, right? I don't care if it's really called Superman in the world of the Clique.
Oh, no, I'll stop you there.
In the world of the Clique, it might be.
You don't care if it's really... Well, you have this argument. You do care, or you wouldn't be arguing.
No.
You do care. No.
No, you're saying I'm wrong.
You are.
I'm not wrong.
It's called Superman.
Only by the Clique it's called Superman.
No.
By R.E.M. it's called Superwoman.
No, they can't. They can't. No,
They can do what they want.
Sometimes they call it Superman. Make your mind up, at least.
They call it Superwoman.
Are you sure they're called R.E.M.? Or have they changed that?
They call it Superwoman, you tosser!
How are you spelling that?
That's S-U-P-E-R-W-O-M-A-N. You idiot, you fat imbecile!
You weren't speaking to Suzanne last week at this time because you said she had a haircut, probably quite an expensive haircut. She's a lady in media. She's got to look good. She probably doesn't go to the barber like you or just shave it at home. Probably spent quite a little bit of money on it. She came home. She thought, well, my sweetheart, my lover, my sweetheart, you know what I mean? The man in my life is gonna love this.
Well, he adores everything about me. He's gonna love my hair.
She walked in. Hello, Carl. All right. You look like Dave Hill from Slade. Is what you said to the poor woman. And then talked about it on air. She was furious about that. So what did you do?
Carl?
She did listen, yeah. She wasn't happy.
Did you hear you slagging her hair off?
Yeah. Well, what
So this is probably annoying her now.
Well, no, it doesn't matter. We can do a lot today because she's at work. So,
and of course, no one's going to tell her.
Let's have a chat about a fat arse, shall we? Hold on.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
You are in so much trouble. That's. Look, he's realised he is a little bit worried. Oh, didn't you go and buy her a coat or something?
Took her out on Sunday and treated her to a new coat and that.
Yeah.
But I offered, I
And
said
a
as well,
baseball
I said I'd pay to have it done again.
Oh no, Carl, you have. Oh God. Oh my Christ.
Exactly.
For my birthday.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Johnson, I'm really excited about the job. Can I call you back? I'm just going to negotiate with a whore. And it was just sort of, you could tell that she was clearly probably desperate for crack or a latest fix of smack. So she was literally the normal etiquette of prostitution. You know, that they hang around, they show some thigh. I've seen this in
They
films.
will woo ya.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Take you out for a meal. That sort of thing. That sort of gone out of the window, and she was just there, desperate, running around.
Did
the
she go
streets
out of a window?
Like
because that's another thing they sometimes do, specialist ones.
But I was shocked because I've never been propositioned before like that.
Really?
In London.
It's weird, isn't it? Carl, thoughts?
I think you'd be sort of approached a lot because they tend to sort of go for people who look like they haven't got much chance.
Sure.
And I'm not being mean.
No.
I've known you a long time.
Sorry, I'll let you go back to it. In what way aren't you being mean? By saying that
Steve knows is a little bit odd looking.
I don't think. Well,
no, he does. Do you know?
Yeah, no, but it's not what he thinks of his looks.
No.
It's what he thinks of you talking about his looks on.
No, but it's like how you were talking before about, you know, your eyes are bad. It's nature's little way of saying, look, nothing to see here, right?
Don't get that.
I don't know what you mean.
But when you look in the mirror and that, they've gone, look, he hasn't got the looks. Let's make his eyes bad, right?
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
See,
balancing it out, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny, right? Now we're on the topic.
Sorry,
Right,
Johnny Depp.
Now listen,
My chest is gonna burst at this moment.
Whenever we go into this conversation, I always think to myself, Carl, do you know what you look like?
I'm gonna.
You know, seriously, can I be honest with you? You look like, you know, if you've got like a balloon, a hot air balloon, right? Just a little balloon, like a party balloon. If you drew a little face on it, right, and inflated it about halfway, that's what you look like.
right?
No, play a record. I don't want to get into this.
Listen,
it's too intense.
now you've got onto this. Let's just nip it in the bud now. I'll tell you something that I wasn't going to tell you because I think
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Right, it was on the tube. Right, well, I wasn't. Someone told me they were on the tube. Right, and the tube pulled into a station. Right, And one of the women saw the poster that's out at the moment with you and Rick on it, right?
Yeah.
So this woman apparently goes, "Oh look, there's Ricky. Ricky's on the radio, right?" And the other woman goes, "Oh yeah, don't you listen to it?" So she goes, "Oh, I didn't know he was on the radio." And she goes, "Oh,
Sorry, Steve.
look at."
Because he didn't make it sound this bad.
She said, "Oh, look at that person he's with." So she goes, "Yeah." She said, "That's Steve." She said, I was sort of aware that he looked odd because Karl mentions it on the radio.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as much of a blow to me, but I can see how it was a bit of a shock to you.
Yeah.
So that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that isn't me sort of telling this woman to say anything. That was all happened without anybody else sort of bringing it on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Was it... Sorry, you seem to be relishing this. Was it because of the little balloon story that made you...
I honestly, Steve, I wouldn't have told you, but if you're going to start, having a pop,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I can't just sit here and take it and that.
No.
I mean... All mates.
Yeah. It's just,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was mistaken for
yeah.
Johnny Vegas. Steve's got...
Jaded from Aerosmith on XFM 104.9. Just trying to pep things
See,
up.
I know you're up. You're
Yeah.
up there. I mean, we've got lots of work to do. We're filming soon. We've got loads of things, admin, DVDs, everything like that. We come in here. This is Poxy. This is not a drop in the ocean. The sort of work and money we earn, right? Really, if we do this to keep charitable status, because, and yet you know, Karl, come on. What's the matter with you?
Are we doing Rockbusters?
I'll
why-
tell you what. No, come on, Rick. I'll tell you what. Because it's your special day, and I want you to have a great time today.
Yeah.
We're going to do Rockbusters.
If
just
you
for
cheer up, miserable. He just got ratty then. Go, no, don't push it on me head. Don't put it on me head.
Right, what were you trying to put on my head?
I was trying to put a pear on your head to knock it off with a ball, like William Tell, but it was because your head is so round and the pear was round. I tried to flatten it a little bit, and I didn't know it was a juicy pear. So I thought it'd be like just to crush it a little bit, and then he went mental because he had juice running down his face.
Oh.
Why is it my fault? The pear's a faulty pear.
Exactly.
Get proper fruit in here. It worked with the apple,
That was fine.
and then he gets ratty with me.
Karl, could we have some monkey news?
Well, just before we do Monkey News, right, can I do a little psychological test on you?
On me?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's brilliant this. Someone emailed it in.
Brilliant.
Right, little story with a question at the end.
Okay.
Right? Right,
This is going to be so annoying.
No, it's not, honestly.
Well, it is, because you're going to think it's science and it's going to be trite.
Alright, well,
Go on.
right, little story first, right? There's this funeral, right? And this girl was at a funeral.
Same funeral?
Yeah.
Right.
It was a mother's funeral.
Oh, yeah.
Right? She met this fella who she didn't know, right? But she thought this fella who she met was amazing. She didn't know him, right? But she thought he was brilliant, right? Like a dream fella.
Right.
And she fell in love with him, right? But never asked for his number, his phone number, right? And she couldn't find him. Now, a few days later, the girl killed her own sister, right?
Yes.
Question is, why did she do that?
Okay, well, it's one of those stupid things then, isn't it? So, it's not logic, it's what am I thinking?
No, it's not. Seriously, it's a proper, it's a
so it's
proper
real
mental
logic.
test. It's a
It's a-
proper mental test.
A mental test. It is a bit mental.
So you understand the story, yeah?
Kind of. Let me just get it right. So there's a funeral. A girl goes to the funeral of her mother.
Yeah.
She meets the guy, or she
meets the guy at the funeral.
She meets the bloke.
He looks all right. I fancy a bit of that.
Right.
Has a chat with him,
Yeah.
but doesn't get his name, doesn't get a phone number or anything.
So to cut a long story short, the things are answered, right? So the reason she kills her own sister, is this something to do with finding out something about the man she met?
Well, just answer the thing. Just why did
Oh,
she...
okay then. I'll answer it then. She went mental. He was a spy called Derek. What do you mean, just answer it?
Anyway, I'm testing Steve.
Right. Well, she killed her own sister because her sister had stolen some money from her and was sleeping with her husband.
Is that it?
Whatever, I don't know, Carl. I don't know.
It's an answer. It's an answer.
I don't know.
What's the answer on the paper? So,
Well, come on,
come on!
Well, the answer is
No, an answer is...
that she was hoping that the guy would appear at the funeral again. He'd go to the funeral.
Right, that's not a proper psychological test.
It is,
It's one of those
here.
stupid little shitty things.
It says
It's like
here.
a man goes into a field and dies. Why? His parachute didn't open. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm surprised
It's-
you learn anything.
Oh,
Honest to
I
God,
love
I'm
that.
surprised you
Romeo
learn
and
anything.
Juliet. Oh, Juliet's a fish.
It said she was hoping that the guy would appear again at the funeral. If you answered this correctly, you think like a psychopath. This was a test by a famous fella, right, who used it on killers, and most of the killers got the answer right.
Did you also think that? Was that the answer that you gave when you
No,
first
I
read
didn't know, I didn't know. But I wondered what you would have got.
Good, so that's proof that I'm not a
yeah,
psychopath.
but that's the point. But it's a psychological test for looking at something very, very specific.
What's up with that?
Well, what was the best that could happen? That he'd got it right, so he is a psychopath.
What annoys me is you're not happy with that test, but before you wasted 3 minutes trying to balance a pear on my head. What were you getting out of that?
Let's play a song and have some monkey stuff.
We get on to, I said, well, things are, I said, we can see the speed of evolution in lower life forms like bacteria, viruses, they evolved, and that's why, soon we won't have an antibiotic that can kill some certain bacterial strains. And he said, and this was about, 11:30, then I said, I'm going to bed, right? He said, in the future, they reckon that you'll be able to wake up and eat a yogurt you can have a chat with.
I don't know what that means.
Let's put a song on, right? And we'll come back to it.
So you're going to
because-
explain that?
Yeah.
You've got an explanation?
The Verve and Sonnet on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
So let's just get this right. What did Carl say? He's just specifically giving those words
he
again.
said, they reckon, and I said I'm going to bed, he went, no, really, I said, no, I'm going to bed, Carl, there's no point now, because, I mean, it's just like, you're talking gobbledygook, you know what I mean? I might as well talk to a pot plant.
Yeah.
He said, in the future, they reckon, I don't know who they are,
Sure.
I don't know, people who post things on the internet that he reads, I think
the Telegraph.
Anyway, complete the sentence.
they reckon that in the future you'll be able to wake up. I love it. There's always a little scenario, an embellishment, like this little. Oh, hello, darling. It's your yogurt. Hello. You'll be able to wake up and eat a yogurt you can have a chat with.
All right, well, thanks for that, Rick. I'm looking at you. I'm going to throw that over to Carl now.
Right, it's when I was away on holiday, right? I got, I don't normally buy the Telegraph, because it's too big and that, innit? So, but, they were giving it away for free on the plane, so I thought,
Ding dong.
might as well have it. And I saw a couple of things in it, I thought that would be interesting. I saw this thing about the future, and it was talking about evolution and what have you, right, which I always find weird, because I always think that maybe we've sort of done it wrong anyway. Do you know what I mean? I sometimes think...
By definition, evolution can't get things wrong. Things change, that it's not successful, it can't pass on its genetic material, or but if you're around, it's working. If you're around, it's working. Slugs are as evolved as they need to be. Slugs are as evolved as you and
Well,
me.
that's true enough.
No, yeah. No disrespect, but it works. It works.
Sorry,
They're
but
around.
anyway, what's your point, Carl?
No, I mean, I think we probably would have been better off staying as a fish. Just because there's more water than land, isn't there?
Right.
And you wouldn't drown.
This is why I went to bed.
No, I'm thinking of dozing off now.
No, but it went... do you know what I mean? From... What was it? It was bacteria, it was fish, mermaid, man, onwards and what have you. So anyway...
Oh God!
No, do you not
there are a
agree?
few knowledge gaps in your theory of evolution.
All right,
You generally got it right, though, so
But I mean, basically, yeah, it went bacteria, fish, mermaid, man. What next is the big question.
So it was telling you all about this and what have you, and saying how, like, we shouldn't have interfered, because maybe if we wouldn't have invented planes and what have you, maybe we'd be able to fly and what have you if we really needed to and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
okay.
So we've interfered with evolution, you see.
Right.
But then it was saying, well, what's the future got?
Well, yes, in one way we have interfered with evolution, yeah. The evolution of the human being in society is changing. It's no longer based on the strongest or the fittest, because medical science can keep us alive long enough. People can pass on their genetic material where, without this civilization, they wouldn't have been able to. So, yeah, there are different parameters, there are different pressures, there are different things that say whether we're going to pass on our genetic material or not. Okay, so in that sense, you're right.
And that, Rick, as far as I'm aware, has led to a yogurt that you can eat and have a conversation with. So
this is what it was saying. It was just saying, you know, we're living in mad times and that. You know, there's a lot of weird stuff going on.
One of which is...
Go on.
And the fellow was just saying, you know, with computers and stuff like that, the way it is, we'll be able to wake up,
Go on.
have a chat with your yogurt, and have something to eat.
What do you mean, have a chat with your yogurt?
Because of the amount of, I mean, you have them yogurts already, those friendly yogurts. Those bacteria-friendly ones, so this is just a really friendly one.
Yeah, they don't... Oh, God! I'm my best! Do you know what, sometimes, Carl, I think that we're having a chat with a yogurt. Do you know, there can't be any difference.
Yeah, but then I'm always reminded that would be more entertaining. That would be more informative.
God! Right, competition time. Brand new competition we've come up with. My favourite we've ever done, I'll be honest. And the great prize, the 6 cents. You get a clip of a great film, and then you get to keep the great film. Now, I'll just explain this competition. I think Karl is a little bit of a frustrated actor, and so, by the power of technology, Karl takes the role in a film, and there's a question about it afterwards. This is a scene starring Karl Pilkington from The Sixth Sense.
Jeez, I hope nobody got hurt.
Be alright.
You're very quiet.
I'm just thinking about stuff. That's all.
You're mad I missed the play, aren't you?
A little bit annoyed, to be honest. Went down a storm playing the drums in Little Donkey, but your loss.
I'd give anything to have been there.
Well, you wouldn't, because you didn't, but like I say, it's your loss, isn't it? Anyway, I'm just quiet because I'm thinking about stuff, like I said, right? I'll make a big deal out of it.
What is it?
Well, I was just thinking, what would happen, right, if you put a chameleon on a mirror? How would it handle that? It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Cole, you're scaring me.
That's scaring you. This'll scare you, right? The other day, saw two old men sat there having a Twix. You never see that, do you? Old fella having a Twix.
You see ghosts, Cole?
No, just the old fellas having a Twix, boy.
They talk to you?
No,
They tell you to do things?
no, because they were too busy eating. But what's that got to do? What are you looking like that for? Do you think I'm some sort of freak or something? Is that?
I would never think that about you.
Well,
Ever.
No.
Got it?
Right.
Well,
So it's a very chilling scene, that.
that is great. Oh, that is fantastic.
It's a very spooky scene from the film The Sixth Sense. Rick, I think you've got a question.
Well, yeah, I mean, Karl played it wonderfully there, the role of the child that sees weird stuff. But who played the original role? What was the name of the child actor who played the original role?
It's email only, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. You can win a copy of The Sixth Sense. But I think we can probably play it again later for those that missed it, or those that haven't caught the
just
sound, or those that need another reminder.
Yeah, you got get your, you know, it's 15-20 minutes. Get your answers in. We'll pick a lucky winner. Well, we've had lots of emails already. In fact, my favourite one is a suggestion of the name of that feature, specific to this today's is the Twix Sense.
Indeed.
Which was great. And feel free to send in your suggestions, because we're going to try and do one a week, a classic film with Karl in the you know, an important role. But if you want to, you know, see Karl as maybe as I don't know, Michael Corleone in The Godfather, you know, send in. We'll see what we can do, won't we, Karl?
And don't imagine that it has to be a male character. I imagine that you could play, for instance, Sharon Stone's role in Basic Instinct.
I don't imagine it has to be a human. I mean, I mean, an animal object.
He might be better suited.
He'd be very good as a rock,
Yeah.
or something.
Exactly.
And so the question was, who played the original role of that kid in the car who saw strange things? And the answer is Steve.
Haley Joel Osment, of course,
Yeah.
who is a talented young performer, but I don't think really has anything on Karl Pilkington, who I think made that scene even more chilling and
Yeah.
more atmospheric than the original.
Definitely.
And we'll give this to, let's see, I think it's Francis Marnie, who's emailed in. He or she said, I don't know if it's a he or she, but says that basically...
I is male and he is... No,
Oh, well, I think it's
I
a
is female and Frances or I don't
Francis,
know.
anyway, that could be a fake name, who knows. But let's assume it's a he. He says he's a sad little nerd who, it was his birthday yesterday, and only his mum remembered, even his best friend forgot.
Definitely a bloke.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really relate to life, and as a bit of a loser, a bit of a nerd, so I don't really know what he's talking about, but I imagine a lot of our audience do, so let's give it to him and sort of...
I imagine he's a little four-eyed geek. Little lanky. Yeah.
Actually, as I look again, I notice he's not even got the name right. He spelled it Haley Joel Osment.
Oh.
Instead of Osment. But, so he really is pathetic. I mean, what a pathetic little
Actually,
weasel.
well, I'll tell you what we find now. Now we've humiliated him. Don't give him the prize. Give it to someone else.
Well, it's on TV tonight anyway, on ITV,
No, well
just
done,
watch it then.
Francis. Thank you for listening, and well done for spotting who Karl was trying to...
And whatever girl you fancy at school, ask her out, say, come back to my place, watch The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
She'll love it, and you'll be guaranteed a share.
Why do you assume he was at school?
I don't know, because his spelling is terrible. Although I'm looking at Karl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a very badly put together email, I just assumed it was a kid.
Right.
Well, if he is a kid now, and he's going through formative years, he's probably really... I never dreamt it was a kid.
Really?
I feel a bit bad now.
What, you thought it was a sort of 25-year-old loser,
Yeah.
even more pathetic in a way.
Yeah. And now I'm worried that, you know, you've embarrassed an adolescent live on, well, one of the biggest radio stations in the building. It's not even the biggest radio station in the building. I can't believe that. It's the smallest radio station in this building. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you've heard now the way that Karl's mind thinks. You've heard over the last hour and 25 minutes. We've got these, Coldplay collectibles and stuff to give away. If you have a question for Karl, okay, you've seen the way he thinks.
Brilliant.
A question that you want to ask him, you want to get his opinion on something, you might want to get his opinion on, the supernatural, on, you know...
Civil rights.
Anything you want. Just get his mind work, because he loves to learn, he loves to be educated, he loves to ask questions. So we've got some questions for Karl.
These are amazing questions. Okay.
And just give your immediate response to them, Karl. Not too much thinking time. Yeah,
okay.
right.
What would happen if insects were bigger than us?
Who's that from?
Vicky of Milton Keynes, maybe? I don't know, it ran out. So, I don't think there is a place called Milto. It's from Vicky. Karl, what would happen if insects were bigger than us? She's going into the possible winner file there.
Would David Attenborough still like his job? Do you know what I mean? Would he start worrying? Because I've got that point, just because, you know, insects and that, he's always messing about with them, but would he be that keen to, like, 8 foot? Is what I mean.
If they look like me. Sure.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Look, this is a nice one. This is, from, Jason. Can Karl do something to prove you are on live and not recorded? I'm sure that will tax his little bald head to bursting point.
What's his name?
Jason.
How can you prove that we're live on air?
Come on, how could you prove that we're live on air?
Happy Christmas Eve, Jason.
No, we could have recorded this a week ago.
Yeah, but then it wouldn't be Christmas Eve.
No, but...
Happy Christmas Eve, isn't it?
No, but we'd have recorded
Karl,
it and
think!
Alright, it's nearly 11:45.
Yeah, but we could have started with the clock knowing that we were going to record it as live. We could have done this last Wednesday.
Alright, it's Radio 2, it's a nice day out there, sun's out.
Well, that's a guess. And do you think... Oh, it is sunny. Yeah, it is sunny,
but,
yeah.
Generally it's
but hold on, wait a minute. We're in London. Someone listening in Manchester, it might be raining.
It probably is raining.
Look, he can't work out how to make sure it's live. Look at him looking up in the sky. Look at him. His head is gonna burst. There's a little bit of blood coming from his ear. How can we prove we're live?
My mum's budgie died last night.
But that... Oh, God!
Don't laugh about it. Don't laugh.
Only your mum that can confirm that.
Yeah, no one knows whether your budgie died or not. Was he pictured holding a copy of today's paper? What are you talking about, Carl?
I can't prove anything then.
You're so right.
Next question.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh God, Carl, where would you go if you had a time machine? That's Bob from Manchester.
Where would I go? I can go to any time.
Yeah.
And now once I get there.
Oh,
yeah.
No, but I'm just saying, what am I doing? Am I staying in the little box and just looking out of a window? Or am I...
Let's assume you can wander
Okay,
around
we'll do
the internet.
both. First of all, you're wandering round.
I'm just one... And I've typed in the year.
Oh,
To be honest, I'm not that good at history, so I don't know what happened when. So I'd be better off just sort of letting someone else have a go and asking them when they get back, just saying...
Carl, where would you go? What do you fancy? Just think.
Would you like to see dinosaurs?
Would you like to see the Roman Empire? Would you like to see the 1960s? Would you like to go back and see your nan as a kid?
Shouldn't really mess with time though, should you?
No, you're not.
It's not actually going to happen. No one's actually invented one yet.
What period of history are you interested in?
Probably. I mean, I sort of like the 60s. But we still sort of, we don't really...
Next question. Unbelievable. Everyone's got an answer to that. Everyone wants to know where they can go back in time,
Well, where
except
would you go back in time to?
I'd go back to religious times. I'd go back to the birth of Jesus, see what was going on.
Really?
Yeah. See how the frankincense and myrrh went down.
There was this thing started I saw it in the paper about 15 years ago. A guy put an advert in a local paper, I think it was in Sheffield, saying, I've been reincarnated. I was a cow at the birth of Jesus. Is anyone else out there that was reincarnated? It was the birth of Jesus. Fella got in touch, said I was a cow too, and they started a society called Cattle for Christ. Just the two of them. I don't know where they held their annual general meetings. I mean,
I wonder
think
if that's still going.
I don't know. But imagine if you were at the birth of Christ and they're going, oh, do you remember it? He goes, yeah, but I couldn't quite see. There was just a bit of wood in it. I didn't really see that. I remember the men. They were arguing over spending.
All I could see was your backside.
I know, yeah. So, think of that, Carl. Okay, final question. Right, okay. Carl, if you could, travel back in time to ancient Rome and take one modern invention with you to set yourself up as a god king, what would it be? What would you take back? That's from Amy. Sorry, Arvy in London.
Going back to Roman times.
Yeah, so what would you take back to make sure that you were king? Would it be a weapon? Would it be,
yeah, a weapon. It's pretty violent times, wasn't it? Yeah, I'll have a weapon if that's
Well, what though?
Gun. Have a gun, take that.
And what would you do with it once you were there?
Well, I'd probably... I mean, I don't like killing animals and that, but they used to use tigers a lot, so shoot one of them in the head. No, because
there's no explanation why.
No explanation for it.
Just do it.
I love him. Okay, look, we've got to give this. I think can Carl do something to prove you're live?
Yeah, you completely foxed him. There was nothing he could think of in his tiny little brain to prove that this is live.
So, I think little Jason wins the Coldplay collectibles and, some other stuff. So, well done. He still can't prove it. He still can't prove it.
Play a tune, then we'll have some,
You could have just said, you could have just picked up today's paper and read the headline. Think!
Monkey news after this. Okay, I think it's probably time. Let me just check my watch. Yeah, it's monkey news time.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news, yeah.
Right, last week we talked about, the one who was good at getting up buildings and that for, putting out fires and stuff, ended up working for the fire department.
Yeah, not true, but...
Sure. Yeah. But if the building had good grippage, he was right up there.
Yeah, it's not true, but go on.
So this week, anyway, it's more about tall buildings and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It was this bloke who was a builder.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And, you know what builders are like? They sort of move about, don't they, from sort of building to building, just building.
Well, yeah, once they've built it, the building's done and they move on to build some more.
Building to building, just building, yeah.
So he goes to his next job and that, right?
Who does, the builder?
The builder.
Yep.
He goes to, like, the
new
boss,
building.
the boss of this building, who's building it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And he says what unto him?
Do you need anything building?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So anyway, he says, yeah, there's plenty of work and that going about.
Yep.
He said, we're working on this one here. He said, get going on it. Like, there's your bricks and your cement and stuff. Get on with it.
Yeah.
Any plans? Just build.
Just start building.
Yeah. Go up.
They're getting on with it and stuff. It's all going well.
Yep.
But he notices that there's someone working high up, right, on the top bit.
Sure.
Because do you know, like, there's girders and stuff on these big buildings.
Yeah.
And he's still building the bottom bit,
And
which
he's
is weird.
still, yeah. Well, that's the way they do it there, apparently, just to sort of speed it up, work from top to middle, from top to bottom.
Sure, that's in imaginary land.
We put the spire on, now we better do the foundations,
Yeah.
and then put some stuff in the middle to keep it up there.
So anyway, he's saying to, like, the other workers, he's going, who's that up there?
Who's that up
Like,
there?
He's working on his own.
The little fella, was he?
And
The little hairy fella up there.
He's the little hairy fella up there with the hard hat.
and the other fellas were going, look, you know, don't ask questions, you know, the boss decides who he takes on, we're happy to be getting paid here.
Don't ask questions! Well, I'll see him when he comes down.
So he said, well, it's pretty impressive, you know, the work rate he's doing, the way he's getting from one girder to the other.
Swinging, is he?
He doesn't seem to be scared of the heights or anything. He said, no, just let him get on with it, you know, we work well as a team. So anyway.
What nonsense is
So-
this?
so-
He believes all this.
Yep.
So he sees the boss and he goes, that fella up there, who's the fella up there? He's pretty good. And he's like, look, you know, just get on with the job. Yeah, I'll pay you. Let's just all get on with our jobs. Like. Lunchtime comes, they're all sat there, sat on a little wall, having the sandwiches. He's thinking he'll come down in a bit. He's just carrying on.
Is he just still going?
Still going on that, right? So the fella says to the boss man, he says, isn't that fella up there going to come down and join us for lunch? He said, like I said, mate, don't worry about him, right? He
Being
said,
very
"Look,"
secretive. I'm suspicious about this fella. I don't know.
Yeah,
why,
I don't know.
I don't know why he's working to his lunch. I don't know why he's not scared of heights. I don't know why he's swinging from girder to girder. It's weird. Go on.
So he said, anyway, you've reminded me that he's up there. He said he's doing a lot of riveting and stuff up there. He probably needs some more nuts to...
Right, sure. And what kind of nuts is that? Is that nuts to food or...?
So he said, what, nuts? He said, yeah, just, there's a bag full of them there. Just put them on the hook, send them up, and he can get on with his job. So anyway, he picks these nuts up,
Nuts,
right?
yep.
Just hooks them on. He thinks they're not that heavy,
No.
considering, you know, I mean, they're normally pretty heavy, aren't they? Like nuts
big
and
bag of
bolts and
nuts,
stuff.
yeah.
So anyway, he has a little glance in.
Oh, no, what's in there?
Nuts.
What, you mean nuts that you can eat?
Nuts that you can eat.
Oh.
Right? So they send the bag up, and he's thinking, what's all that about? He checks him out, starts to stare, works it out. You can see that he's a little chimp running about. So he goes, I'm not happy with this.
Why isn't he?
Because he's working for an organisation that's, you know, there's unions for this sort of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, he's not going, that's amazing. They've got a chimp riveting this building together.
Yeah.
That's not scary. He's wondering if they're breaking union rules.
So he goes...
You don't have to talk
So he goes and has a word with
He
the boss.
goes to the boss and he goes, look, I've worked out what you're playing at here.
Yeah.
He said, all them out
Is the
there...
boss sitting in a tyre?
He said, all them lot out there might not be wise to what's going on here. He
Yeah.
said, but I've clocked it, and you're sending nuts up to it. It's a monkey, it's not on. So he goes, look, you know, we're just all trying to earn a living here. He said, don't get involved in it. I'm happy to pay you, but I'm paying him. Don't interfere.
He's paying him.
And he's saying, look, I'm just not happy with this. It's not allowed. So the boss was saying, well...
We
to be
pay
honest,
peanuts,
mate,
we get monkeys.
he said, to be honest, mate, you know, he's a great worker. He's known for doing what he does. He's a good grafter. If one of you's going to go, right, I'm afraid I'll have to let you go, because he's been here longer than that.
Yeah.
He was made redundant.
None of
because
that
the monkey-
happened.
He was laid off.
None of that happened.
He's laid off and that. And that's
No.
where that saying about, you know, like there's a lot of tower blocks and that in America. It's like the chimp off the old block is where... So that's monkey news.
It's time to give Karl... You're actually nervous, aren't you? I'm a little bit nervous. Just to recap, Karl is 30 this year. He never went to get his results of his GCSEs. So myself and Steve took upon ourselves to phone his school, track them down, and we actually got your results. What did you think you took?
Did English,
Right.
maths,
Yeah.
art,
Right.
and I think I did physics.
Okay. Well, you didn't do any of them.
Eh?
You didn't do any of them. You didn't register. You registered for one exam and took one exam and got results for one exam. So I don't know what you thought you were turning up to, or you weren't registered, or you didn't.
You're familiar with the notion of registering for an exam. You have to kind of officially register in order to be eligible.
What do you mean, register? I turned up for a couple.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah.
just show up. You have to register for them.
You have to pay this because it costs the school money, so they have had to have paid for you if they thought you were going to pass. You can't just turn up on the day and ask for some paper at the front.
I never got a letter telling me that.
Well, that's because you were never at school.
But you did somehow register, or registered for one exam. You registered for history.
It's a topic that you've always been interested in.
I was saying to Ricky before, World War II, I loved it.
Not the actual event.
No,
the
but
study
just
of it.
all
You
the
mean?
stuff like, you know, about the Anderson shelters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the bombs and that.
Mhm.
And then when I took it, it had nothing to do with that. It was more about the Tudors.
So it didn't. The Second World War didn't come up. You mean there were no questions about the Anderson shelters?
Nothing.
That's devastating.
So
So what are you expecting the result to be?
is that seriously? Is that it?
Yeah, it's the only one you took and registered.
As far
for.
as the school is concerned, or
Yeah.
certainly in
Well, it's the
terms
only
of
one
what
that
they told
counts.
us.
It's the only result. It's the only one that counts. Yeah, you've got.
I don't. Did you register for yours?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have. Yeah, I've got certificates and everything.
So what? Do you do that before the exam? Do you have to go somewhere and sign something, or?
Yeah, you don't check your results and then decide if you want to register. It's not like Millionaire when you look at the question and go, I think I'll take the money.
Yeah.
You go.
No.
But anyway, you must have registered for one, or maybe your teacher put you in for
I
it.
didn't do it. So
They must have
someone
been
else
confident.
registered
They
for
must
me.
have been confident. They must have thought your best bet was history.
Right. So, what did they get?
You got an E, which I think, I mean, technically, is a pass.
E.
It's a bad pass, but there's F,
How
and there's
much
I
U.
mean, you're not going to be doing a PhD.
You can get an F, right, which is fail, and then a U, which is ungraded. Now, I don't know why the U exists, because F means you failed. U is like them going, you not only failed, but you wasted my time.
So,
We're annoyed
Yeah,
that you took
yeah.
this exam.
so who thought they'd register me to get an E?
well, they didn't.
Well, they
think
didn't.
you'd
I
get
think
any.
they were hoping. It was rather like you with the lottery. They were hoping
see-
for something better than
You
nothing.
see, I assume that the man who registered for that thought he can scrape an E if Anderson shout was come up.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You've got. Now, what I'd like to do, Carl, is I've started your re-education. You've read a book on Rasputin. I'll be asking you a few questions about that later. I've got another book for you to read next week. Next week, I've got a
I'm
little.
not in the mood.
What?
Not in the mood.
Oh, come on! Look, what's that? What does that say?
It's that fella. It's the picture of the bloke that he used to use for Citizen Smith.
Yeah, Che Guevara.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was quite happy, I think, when he found out that Robert Lindsay was involved. He went, yeah, of course you can. No worries. No worries, yeah.
What
So-
are your feelings, Carl? What
do you think? Are you
emotions
depressed?
I'm just a bit annoyed because I'm sure I turned up for more, so it just wasted my time.
Listen, they don't matter.
I'm sure I
you're
did more
doing
than one.
very well. You know, you can educate yourself. GCSEs are merely a step on the ladder to help you, not just for education, but you know, they're more vocational than anything else. You're doing very well, and you're reading books. Don't worry about it. But
It's
can
not
I
a
suggest
concern.
something? But if you want, I'll pay for you to take history again.
Carl, we'd love to see you get a C or above. And
Well,
we're
I'll
willing
pay
to...
for you, and I'll get you some books. Right? Now, listen. We can let's get. I reckon. When are the exams? June.
Something like that, yeah.
We're registered. We'll try and register next week, and I reckon you can get an A or B
I'm
history.
Busy, I'm
in
busy.
history. No, don't worry about it. It's just easy. You get your Brody's notes. If Heat magazine, they love you, Carl. They could probably sort something out. They could probably pay for a tutor. They got a lot of money. They sell a lot of magazines.
I mean, it is always, almost always, and you found that out, I discovered this, it's always the Tudors and Stuarts. There's no fear for that, them not coming up. Now, what do you already know about them? You must already know stuff about Henry VIII and Elizabeth.
No, because it's too long ago to even get interested in. Do you know what I mean? You can't.
Is that why you
relate
didn't-
To it.
Okay.
The Anderson thing, it was like, God, you know, I bet my mum and dad were in an Anderson shelter. You know, this is interesting.
What, when they...
Oh, my granddad would have like had something to do with this. But the Tudors, it's like I don't know even if they had a family back then. Oh, talking about my dad, Steve, you'll love this, right?
Go on.
My dad hates being ripped off, right?
Yes, well, no, I can relate to that, that's important.
Hates coming to London now. He always wants me to go and see them rather than come here because he just thinks London is like a big rip-off. Last time he came, he got annoyed because I bought him a scone and a cup of tea for like 3 of us, and it was £14, and he just was livid. And then we had an argument about that, and then we went to the Millennium Wheel, and I said, "Do you fancy going on this?" He said, "Oh, all right." And then he saw the price, and it was something like 20 quid or something, and he said 20 quid to go up in the air to look at stuff that's on the ground. He said, I might as well stay on the ground.
Brilliant.
Right? Thought, good point.
His logic is impeccable.
So anyway, this is going on. Anyway, he spoke to me the other day. I said, how are things? Are they all right? And that. He said, oh, being ripped off. I said, why? He said he ordered, do you know the place where he got a new bed from because he cut the other one in half,
yeah.
right? He got this bed out of a catalogue. So he sorted out a payment on the phone. He said, look, you're ripping me off a bit here on the interest thing, but well, let's do a deal. We'll sort out a new monthly payment that's different to what it says in the catalogue. And they said, yeah, we'll go along with that. Anyway, so he sorted that out. He was happy. The bed arrived. It's a nice bed. He said, that's great. So anyway, he got the bill for it, and it was the original price.
Oh, I thought it might be the case, yeah.
Right? So he called up and said, I'm not happy with this. He said, we said a deal. And I'm like, oh, no, don't know what you're talking about. He said, right, don't send me your catalogues anymore. He said, I'm not buying anything from you. You're a rip-off merchant. Right? So anyway, few weeks go by. Post comes, only another catalogue in the post.
He's livid.
Right, so he was well annoyed.
Yeah.
So he looked on the back, and it said on it, this catalogue will always be property of, the company that does it. So you can't throw it away. If we request to have it back, we've got the permission to get it back off you. Right? So he thought, right, well, they're out of order. I told them not to send me one, and they have done, and they're saying I can't chuck it away. So he called them up and said, all right, Mr. Pilkington here, bought a bed off you, you conned me, and that. But, forget that. We've dealt with that. You've sent me a catalogue, I told you not to. It says on the back here that this will always be yours. Yeah? So, in a way, you're using my house as a warehouse. I'll be charging you 26 pence or something a day.
Brilliant.
He said, you already owe me £6.28. Something like that.
Genius.
And, sorted it out. So again, it just...
So hang on, but are they going along with this?
I don't know what happened. He said they sounded annoyed and said they'd get back to him, and they haven't. But he said, I'm not bothered. They can take as long as they want because the money just keeps going up.
Yeah.
So,
what sort of profit has he made so far?
Well, when I spoke to him in the week, it was like £6 odd.
Yeah.
I think that was on Tuesday. So he's just leaving it. It's like an investment.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like an antique. He's bought
just, it's just going up every day. So.
Well, keep us posted on that. That's dynamite. One day we need to speak to your father.
Yeah, I think so.
So many questions need to be asked of him.
In fact, I might give you a letter to take home.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Pilkington, your son Karl.
New single from Nick Cave, I think.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Karl, have you ever logged on to Friends Reunited? It was the site that everyone was talking about last year.
No.
Are you aware of the concept?
I've heard about it, but there's no one from school who'd want to see it again, really.
So basically, for those that don't know, you have to log on to his website, and then it helps you track down your old schoolmates if they've also logged on and stuff. And we took the liberty, really, of looking on the Friends Reunited site and typing in your school and trying to track down any of your old mates. We didn't get in touch with any of them, don't worry.
We didn't do that.
We're not going to surprise you with them now.
No.
But I was just interested to know, some of your thoughts on some of the names that I could run past you. I mean, these are people from your year. Just tell me if you recognise the names. Alison Birch?
Think I remember her.
What's your thoughts of her?
Don't
be libelous.
Don't be like no.
No. Posh probably did pretty well in history and that.
Sarah Morris?
God, yeah. Remember her.
Go on. You're grinning. What's the thought? Go on.
No, just she was all right. She was a popular one.
What does that mean?
She was nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about Darren Buckley?
He was one of my best mates.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What do you reckon he's doing now? Do you still keep in touch?
When my mum and dad were still in Manchester and they had a bookie shop, he used to go in because the bookies was next door.
I know the way you paint a picture.
If
you did this in your history exam, Karl, you will walk it.
Go on. So your parents had a butty shop. There was a bookies next door.
Yeah, and he liked having a bit of a gamble, so he used to. I think he works for some insurance company.
Do you think that his fiancée Beth knows he's got a gambling problem? Or that his 2-year-old son Lewis?
No.
Yeah, they live in Cheadle Holme.
Hume.
Cheadle Hume.
He must be doing well.
He's still supporting the Blue Army and frequents the shrine on a fortnightly basis.
Funny thing with him is, right, when I used to stay over at his house, and his dad was a copper, and I remember his dad came down and said, right, I want to see you two. I thought, oh God, what's happened? And got us round the table. And he said, do you know much about drugs? So we were like, what's all this about? So he goes, they're not good for anyone, They stupid thing to get into, and we're like, yeah, we know. And he went, you know, do you? He said, yeah. He said, what's this then? And he'd found something in his bedroom, and it was a Skittle.
What, the sweet?
Do you know little sweets with the S on it? And
Oh, really?
Drugs.
Yeah.
So he said, well, yeah, it's a Skittle. Yeah, I know what it is. He said,
Oh, he was bluffing like that as a slang word.
yeah, he thought, because he was a copper, he probably had to be down with all the terms and that. So we said, oh, it's a Skittle. And he said, yeah, I know what it is, but what's it doing in your bedroom?
Oh.
And it was like, no, it's a toffee. So, Darren,
Yeah, I know, it's a toffee, it's a squib, it's a, yeah.
Carl, more people from your past. Debbie Carr?
yeah, she was another nice one.
What does that mean? Is that a euphemism?
No, she was one of them that you'd sort of go, she's nice, but she'd never be your girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? She was,
Not really.
even though she was in the same year, she seemed a lot older.
Right.
And
It
like,
wasn't a teacher, was it?
there was 3 of them who all hung together, and they seemed to hang around like the older kids, the ones who looked like men. Do you know what I mean? They had
Yeah.
What did you look like then?
Well, it's just that I had youthful sort of looks, whereas like the older ones had like beards and stuff.
It's a gang of boys in the 5th form with beards. Were they smoking pipes? Go, come over here, me filly. Oi, Debbie Carr, come over here, you little beauty.
No, but she was like,
I love that. Hanging around with beards. There's the big boys. What fishing. Lovely beards. What do you
I
mean?
just see a whole row of George Bernard Shaws. Brilliant.
How do you do in history, boy? Think on E. You're an idiot. Oh.
they were like, you know, I'd be there sort of punching people in the arm. Cause we used to play that
Oh,
at
that's a
school.
great game.
Oh, I love that. Punch people in the arm.
Is that part of the Olympics now?
it's, I think it was exhibition this year.
Right.
But
It's going to be a pro next
It's going to be the Winter Olympics because you've got to do it in just a cap sleeve shirt
Sure.
in winter. Yeah.
So you're also playing that?
She, but whilst I
But
was
she didn't
doing
appreciate that. She used to go, ow!
that, you know, I always think whilst I was doing that, they were like the Charlie's Angels, and they'd be sorting out a mission somewhere because they were really like there was something about them that you thought, you know, yeah, they're special.
They were private detectives.
What do they work for a man they never see?
Okay, here's a name I'm interested in, because, well, let me just tell you the name first. Adam Clifton. Oh. Go on, what are your thoughts on Clifton?
He was one of them kids. He was all right, but he had that thing when if you didn't have enough milk, he had like wrinkly hands and like white bits in his nails.
Oh!
Because you didn't have enough milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, you didn't like him because you didn't get enough milk.
This is not to be confused with the 2 people with the big heads and the web feet, is it?
Webbed hands.
Well, this
I
was
know
interesting.
that they weren't related. They must have been somewhere along the evolutionary sort of trail. Do you know what I mean? They must have come from the same sort of stock.
But
no, you wouldn't have liked him. He's just one of them people. He was all right, but
well, before you say any more, on Friends United, you can leave a little message which explains what you've been doing and what your life's like now. And most people leave maybe 2 paragraphs. Adam, I've printed it off. He seems to have printed. I think there's about 6 pages here of stuff. He keeps updating it, and he just basically lists his memories about everyone. Okay, at school and what he thinks of everyone. And he says, I often see Simon, he's doing all right for himself, self-employed illustrator, Mark Cooper, Karl Pilkington.
All right.
And your name comes up. Now, I don't know if you've told us this story. I think you may have done, but I can't remember the facts about it. It just says, Karl Pilkington, with his pet bird. Was it a magpie? I can't remember. He brought it to school to show everyone, and it flew away.
Oh, God! Oh, no, they do that, don't they? You
True.
show them the love.
What was the story there,
You
Carl?
give them seed and they just leave. What do you mean?
Well,
This sounds like Kes.
well, that's it. I was a big fan of Kes, and it was the time our dog had just died.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any pets, and the cats were always getting run over.
Yeah.
And so we didn't want any more pets.
Yeah.
But there was a magpie that used to fly about on the estate, and I managed to sort of tame it. And in the end,
With a
it became-
chair and a whip? What
well,
do you mean you
became
tamed it?
Well, just used to sort of hang around it and talk.
But how
to
did you
it.
get hold of it? Did you catch it?
Well, eventually, yeah, it used to just come to me, and the annoying thing was, it got to a point when I wish I hadn't bothered, because it used to pop me bike tyres. It used to sit on like, if I was talking to my mates and I was on my grifter.
I love the way he just throws things in.
It's like an Alan Bennett play.
It landed on my tyre, and it used to peck at the tyre and pop it, and then
Oh,
it used to then never go away, so it was always like around the house, and my dad said never bring it in. So it used to sit on the porch, and I used to go out, and it used to fly down and land on my head, and it really hurt. It used to like peck and stuff.
He thought it was a tyre.
So it wasn't so much tamed as a stalker.
Oh, God!
So you took it to school and it flew away?
Yeah.
So did you take it in proudly going, look at my magpie? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
no.
I think it got a bit confused in the area that it was in, because I used to just keep it sort of around our estate, but
Sure.
the school was a bit of a distance away.
How did you get it there?
So, carrying it on my finger.
Did you walk?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was happy there, and then it got to... Huh?
But it used to be one of those things that people would stop me in the street and sort of go, oh, what's that?
And I don't suppose
Maggie, called it Maggie.
you didn't get Charlie's Angels to go and find out what happened to it? Investigate?
Were they impressed?
Not really.
No.
But
Listen,
go on, any... Like
Carl, let's
you
come
made.
back to it, mate. Let's come back to it. Let's have a hip-hop hooray track. It's the big hip-hop selection from Big Steve Merchant. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Just trying to sound hip. This is Spearhead from many years back. A track, again, I think got largely overlooked at the time, but worth hearing again. People in the Middle. Best chill out album ever, the best air
Brilliant.
guitar volume 2, and of
Brilliant.
course for all our fans, Doctor Who, The Aztecs. That's on DVD, and that's one of the William Hartnell Doctor Who. Alright. That's the worst impression I've ever heard. That's brilliant.
Right, but then...
Right, three cryptic stuff. Oh, come on.
Right. Yeah.
Three... I can't do it.
No, come on!
Right, three cryptic clues.
Some of which may be wrong.
Yeah, and don't take the letters literally.
Yeah.
Right, go on.
And some initials, and it makes up a band. So here we go then. There's three of them. You email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Yep.
Right, here we go then.
Yep.
Number one. The weather stinks, doesn't it?
The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's R.
That's R.
Right.
The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Second one. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out.
Alright, give us that again.
Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out.
Look round, just get on the boat and help us out. What's the
Yeah.
initial?
R again.
R again, interesting.
Yeah. And then the third one, if you're going to do that with your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. CK.
CK.
Alright,
What's more?
So quickly, all the way through then. Number one, the weather stinks, doesn't it? That's R. Look, Gran, just get on the boat and help us out, will you? That's R as well. And then the last one, if you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a bit before you open it. CK.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
Brilliant.
Fantastic.
Right, we'll have a bit of vinyl.
Let's have a classic. Let's have a classic from the Merchant collection.
Right, Rockbusters.
Some people like tall men.
Yeah, go on.
That's, yeah. Right, first one. The weather stinks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That was R, which was rainbow. Right?
Rainbow?
Like rain is the weather, and it smells like bow.
Bow?
Body odour. They
No,
say,
it's
oh,
B.O.
It's B.O. That's
It's pronounced
B.O.W.
B.O.
Well, yeah, but you've got to play.
It's not pronounced bow, and it's not spout bow.
Who calls it bow? Everyone knows it's B.O.
What, you don't care? You don't care that doesn't work?
Well, they got it. So again, as long as
One
they're getting
person got
as
it,
long
Carl.
As they're getting it.
One person got it. Of all the emails, one person got it.
Second one. Look, Gran, just get on the boat, will you, and help us out.
Go on.
That was R. That was Ronan, right?
Ronan, who's Ronan?
Ronan.
Who's Ronan?
Ronan Keating.
But he's known as
That's
Ronan Keating.
No, it's
RK.
not. No, it's not anymore though. He's gone on his own, hasn't he? He's just known as Ronan.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. It's Ronan Keating.
He's always been known as Ronan Keating.
All right.
So that doesn't work either. Go on.
Third one.
Next.
If you're going to do that to your drink, I'd let it settle for a little bit before you open it. That was CK.
What?
Shake a can. Shake a can. If you're going to shake, you can.
This is the worst competition ever.
So
It's Chaka.
have you got?
It's
winner?
Chaka. It's Chaka. It's Chaka Khan.
Shake a can.
No, Chaka Khan.
What you got?
Chuck a can might have worked. To throw a can.
Who got all 3 right then?
Well, because basically what happened was people
We're
just
stopping this.
emailed in 3 guesses.
We're stopping
and
this.
and the guesses that were right came from Mandy Thompson in Hendon.
Let's ruin
but
that one.
frankly,
Then. Well, that's run that into the ground. That's Do We Need 'Em ruined.
No, we can't
That's-
just bin everything on 1 week.
I don't think we're going to get that. Oh, they're not as good as they think they are because you've only picked on Newton Einstein. You don't know anyone else. You don't know who Gandhi is. Chimpanzee that you've run out of.
I did like the jingle for that though.
Oh, chimpanzee that.
That was a great jingle.
Yeah,
But sadly, we won't be able to use that again.
So who's won anyway?
Well, it was Mandy Thompson I mentioned, but as I say, she guessed, so I mean, she can have the prizes, she's welcome to them. But, I think we should knock it on the head, Carl. Maybe you should come up with something new.
No, I think it's still got a few weeks in it.
I think we should take some time off.
Well,
Yeah. What about, like, the foreseeable future?
Don't know.
does
song
that
for the
sound?
lovers. Do you want to just play
A song
that
for the
one?
ladies. Listen, you know what? I think it's maybe the March issue of Company magazine. Buy that. Top 50 most eligible people. There's probably an address or a phone number to call. And here's another song for the ladies, maybe just to charm you further. Tom the Model by Beth Gibbons and Rustin Man.
Carl, say
And Curran
goodbye
Allen.
and say it nicely, like you're happy.
See you later.
Is that the best you can do?